Welcome to the Hustle HQ podcast, where life, fitness, and business come together. We're here to bring you stories and strategies to help you break your barriers and unlock your full potential. I'm Connor Wigren. Let's get into it. Alan, welcome to the show. Guys, this is going to be a different type of episode here. This is going to be a twist up to where he is going to be talking to me about Fitness Society and how we came up with the idea and where we're going with it. So, Alan, please introduce yourself. Thank you for coming on. Let's get to it.
Man, thank you for having me. My name's Alan. I'm a nurse at Holmes Regional in the cardiac ICU.
This guy's a true lifesaver.
Man, don't you know it? You know, it's quite a career, I have to say.
Yeah,
but
high stress.
Yeah, high stress. But today's about you.
All right.
You know, I just got the first question is, why a supplement store?
So why a supplement store is, well, growing up, I grew up in Northeast Ohio. My friends Angel and Kristen started Fitness First supplements, so I was actually like a store groupie. I used to hang out around a store and like do whatever I could to hang out there longer. Angelo actually coached me in teen bodybuilding, so we hung out there, made content with them, just literally hung out. Like we just want to be part of it.
Right.
So that was just something I kind of knew, and then through teen bodybuilding, we got in the industry super young. Like my dad was taking us to competitions really young, and then we started competing super young. So my dad almost kind of built us a following on accident, like taking us to these competitions and stuff. We met all these people, all these brand reps, all these owners and stuff. We met Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, Dexter Jackson. I mean, all the big names.
Wow.
Yeah, we got put on stage like at the Pittsburgh Pro with all the big names at the time, and I was like 15. It was crazy. And they had us like take our shirts off and we were like flexing up there. So we had this kind of like cool, like with the supplement fitness industry, a built-in following. So when we started competing, it was like, oh shit, those are those kids from Cleveland. Like we remember them. So then social media came out and that kind of just rolled over. We kind of built a following that way. Fast forward literally 10 years almost. I'm down in Florida, kind of, figuring life out, had an associate's degree, kind of dabbling with going back to school, kind of dabbling to going to work. Turns out Kaylee and I met, whatever. We get into the nuclear industry, all right? We started making some decent money, but we were traveling. We were living out of hotels. We were missing our family and friends. Just the quality of life wasn't there. So the idea came from, okay, I have this past knowledge of supplement stores, and we now have money, and we don't want to do this anymore, so what are we going to do? We looked at the Melbourne market, and there was some small stuff, some stuff that got kicked out with COVID, and then GNC and Vitamin Shop, which, as everyone knows, they've kind of been tapering off over the last couple of years.
Wow.
So that's where the supplement shop idea came from.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, that was a mouthful.
That's
Sorry.
a pretty deep, intricate story of how you got there.
Yeah.
All right. So you worked in a nuclear power plant.
Yes.
All right. And so like did working in there and like really having to hustle, it was nights, correct?
Yeah.
You worked on nights.
Shift.
So like did having to hustle really hard with that, did that give you even more of a drive to like, I got to figure out something else. I don't want to do this forever. Did it really give you a motivation?
Super blessed. My parents both work in nuclear, so that's how you get in. Nuclear power plants, nuclear energy is very much a family business. I mean, it's crazy to think of it that way, but if you go to a power plant, everyone is someone's daughter, son, brother, cousin. It is crazy.
It's like a family tree.
No, literally. You'll
That's
work with
wild.
like people's grandpas and their grandkids and their cousins. Like, oh yeah, don't mess with him. His dad owns this, like whatever. But it's a crazy, like you have to know people. And we've got our friends in since then. I mean, I've got my buddy Brandon, his girlfriend Risson, Lexi, our trainer. We've sent her to plants. But dude, my buddy Brad, once you get in and you know someone that's in, I could get you in sit-in, no problem. Hey, because there's such a rigorous background check and like quality control of employees. If you refer someone, they're like, all right, they got to be a good person.
Okay.
But yes, so working in nuclear, working 12-hour shifts, like my last plant, we worked 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, night shift. I was in the basement of a power plant.
Man.
For day in, day out, or night in, night out. And that really puts that in your head. You're like, I don't ever want to be here again. Like, super grateful for the money, super grateful for the opportunity.
Right, but like that's not your ideal workspace.
Yeah. Anything else? No.
Oh, man.
It's great. But yes, it does. It does give you that extra drive to get out of that situation.
All right. So like you decided to do the supplement store. All right. So what was like your first plan of action? Like where did you begin to be like, all right, I'm going to get
That's a great question.
all these different brands that I know. I'm going to buy from them. I got to get a store. I've got to get a place. Like, I've got to build the store to make it look like the way. Like, where did you just start?
So the only 3 supplement stores I had ever been in were my buddy Angelo's,
Okay.
GNC and Mentor, and Vitamin Shop and Mentor. Mostly my buddy Angelo and Kristen's. So what we ended up doing was like our second year of Nuclear, we had the idea that we were going to do it. We started drawing maps, whatever. But we started going to whatever city we were in. We'd look up locally owned supplement shops and go to them. And we were like literally badgering managers. We're like, so like, what do you sell good in here? Like, what do you do with this? How do you do this? Whatever. We ended up in Jersey and we found Jersey Shore Supplements, which is Astroflave, the brand we carry. And we ended up like loving their protein and loving their product called Flip Mode, which is now discontinued. RIP, very sad. I know what you're smiling about. It's a great pre-workout. And it's better when you have 2 of them, all right? So anyways, we were like, shit, this brand slaps. Centurion Labs, we knew from Fitness First, which is Donovan's brand, as you know. So we were like putting together all these pieces as we were on the road. We were stopping at stores everywhere. We found Southern Nutrition in Dothan, Alabama. And we started like, okay, we like this shelving. We like how they structured this. We liked how this person greeted us. And we just put together this big picture and we're like, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
Wow. So you just like were pulling from a bunch of different places
Yes.
and just like collectively made your own design.
Which is really funny because people don't know this, but a lot of supplement stores, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but a lot of supplement stores are dissolved from other supplement chains. So you have GNC and Vitamin Shop, then you have like Complete Nutrition, 5-Star Nutrition, and there might be a Max Muscle might have been one of them, but whatever. They're big chains of stores. Well, as these corporations kind of dissolved or fell apart, whatever, the managers of the stores would buy them and open them. So what I didn't know is I was looking at a replica of the same system, just different places. You get what I'm saying? It'd be like if GNC went out of business right now and all the managers just took over their store.
Oh, okay. So like same exact.
Yes. So we're seeing kind of the same system, the same style, no matter what state we're in. But we didn't think anything of it. We just thought that was like how people open supplement stores. So we came, copied the system without having the system. So when we opened and when reps started visiting our store, they're like, oh, are you from like 5-Star, the 5-Star chains or the Complete Nutrition, whatever. And we're like, no, why? And they're like, oh, your store looks just like it and what you're doing is just like it. And we're like, oh yeah, we just visited a bunch of supplement stores and got all like, just kind of pulled it that way.
Yeah, you got the blueprint.
Yeah, got the blueprint on
just made it yours. Yeah, dude, that's cool. That's cool. So walk me through like the first 6 months. So like you open the store, you get it going, at what point were you like, oh wow, like I'm deep in this now. Like this is my career now. There's nothing else. This is what I got to do.
So the first 6 months was intense. It was like obviously different. Granted, we had a nice little nest egg saved up, which I would highly recommend to anyone that's looking to get into business is save up some capital first, get in a position where you don't have a lot of bills, get in a position where you are comfortable taking that leap. Because if you don't have time to let that business grow, it's going to be tough. I mean, Kaylee and I did not take a paycheck for the first 6 months.
Wow.
We saved up the money, and we got our bills, fortunately, are low. I mean, I'll drive just about anything. I had an 02 4Runner for a long time. I'm just not like a fancy go-out person. We agreed kind of, hey, we're not going to be going out to dinners. We're not going to be doing extra stuff. Like this is 6 months to a year. We know we have to dedicate all in. So I think our agreement was first 3 months, her and I would both work the store every day. The second 3 months, we started the split shift. She worked morning, I worked nights, or vice versa. So the first 6 months, it was only Kaylee and I, and the first whole year was mostly Kaylee and I. Then we introduced like our buddy Bryce and Emily Mullins and Bobby were like the first 3 like part-timers that started helping out.
So what was that? Was that like a different feeling? Like when you hired people, now you got people that are on your team. Like, is that
Yeah.
a different, like, did
That-
your mindset have to change, like the role that you were playing? Like, okay, I'm also an employee to myself, but also I have people that I have to now employ.
So the employee thing didn't really set in when it was at first it was like, oh gosh, we're going to leave the store with someone. Hopefully it goes all right. And then it went all right. And it was like, okay. But we were still showing up to the store every day. Like we were still coming in after their shift or before their shift. The first big like, oh shit, was I think we took like a vacation in North Carolina and we were leaving the store for like 3 days with just, the part-time people. And we were like, ooh, like, man. But the biggest thing that really, when it really changed for me mentally was when we started having full-time people. So not just, like when Bobby went full-time, now it's not just Fitness Society. It's now I have to take care. Bobby is now my responsibility in some manner. I am responsible for his lifestyle,
Right. So now you've got this store and you now have some employees.
Yeah.
And so like, what is that like? Like, it's not just you and Kaylee anymore. Now you have actual people that like are relying on you for their lifestyle. Like,
yeah. And that is when it got real. The first year of Fitness Society, whatever, just Kaylee and I having fun, running our business. But something that really like sticks out to me now that, we're almost 4 years in is there's plenty of reasons small businesses fail. I think the difficulty the city and state make it to operate is one thing. All the steps that you have to take and the sacrifices you have to take to get there, hiring an employee. You always hear that with small business owners. I don't trust anyone to do what I do. All right, well then you're a slave to your business then.
Yeah, you're basically not.
You're not really like...
The purpose behind having your own business is to be able to eventually, not per se, leave that business, but to be able to pursue other things within that business.
And let me tell you.
But let other people run it.
So Kaylee and I, year 2, paid ourselves each $50,000, which is cool. I mean, we're a second year in a business.
Probably better than 90% of businesses do.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So here's an alarming thing though. We were like, cool, this is awesome, but now we're scaling. We're going to open store 2. We're going to add another employee. Oh, we can't both take $50,000 now. We have to cut that way back because we opened store 2 this year, 2024. We opened store 2 around April, May. We put $50,000 into it right up front.
Well, there went your paycheck.
There went my year's salary.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. So the reason a lot of these small businesses stall out or stop, I think, is truly because they're not willing to take that. They took that initial sacrifice when they first started, taking a pay cut from their job, or having to live a little below their means for a while. And they started making money and, okay, cool. Now the second phase of that, to go from a small business to an actual company or a corporation or whatever you want to call it.
You got to take that.
You got to take another
jump.
pay. You have to take that same jump. Exactly.
Yeah.
So 2024, huge pay cuts for Kaylee and I. But you get more into, you're doing it for the why then. You're doing it because now we're growing our community double. We have more team members. We have our trainers that are rocking in the studio. We have our people in store. And now I have a great schedule where I still work in store, but I work in store 20 hours a week, 27 hours a week. And I get to do things like podcasts. I get to do things like workouts and marketing and outside stuff and meetings with people. So yes, taking that pay cut. So that is the stressful part about expansion and adding employees and why I think a lot of people don't do it. I don't think truly they're scared of what someone's going to do with their business. I think they don't have the managerial or leadership structure to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, it's like they hate their other job that they were doing, and so then they're like they get pushed to a point where they're like, I'm going to take this jump, I'm going to do it. But I think what happens is people they get comfortable. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay, I'm not working in a position that I hate anymore. And now things are kind of flowing and, you know, going my way. But in order, like you said, in order to make that next jump, like to actually grow it to a company, you have to take that hit again.
Yeah.
And I think people don't want to take that hit the second time.
You don't have to. Like Kaylee and I could have stayed with store one, stayed with her and I, and made our money and been okay. But it turns into the vision of it and what do you see? Like, I want Bobby to make a great salary with Fitness Society. I want Sam. I want every single person part of Fitness Society making a great living off of it. And, you know, not like they're managing a supplement store. Like, I literally see Bobby and Sam as like district managers or, you know, overseeing whatever of 3-4 stores, you know?
Okay.
Or Lexi and Alvy training in the gym and looking over other trainers. People have to be able to see deeper into the business to grow it. If they don't have that deeper picture, then there's no like whatever, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think, also I think, I guess it would have to do with your mentality. If you have that, you're pursuing more. Like, if you don't want more, you're not going to get more. So I think that's like where a lot of things stop too. Is like people, like I said, they get comfortable, they get complacent. They're like, this is enough.
The vision only went this far.
Yeah, it went this far, and it was like they were like, this is good enough. Instead of just being like, you know what?
Which is I kind of envy that sometimes.
I mean, yeah, I do too. Like, you know, anytime that I'm like, man,
I am not a chill guy.
No, I'm not either. Like, I'm just like, I wish that I could do something, stick with it, be content that I'm doing this on a daily basis. But something in my head's like, nah, dude, you gotta do more. You gotta add something else to your life.
Maybe that's like your life mission. Maybe that's your whatever you believe in pushing you along, saying, hey, come on. You're made for more. You're made for more. Right. Keep going.
I think that's like the secret. It's not really a secret, but I think that's like what it literally takes for anybody to be successful. I mean, like if you look at Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or, you know, anybody that is extremely wealthy beyond, like, you know, you can't even fathom how much money they have.
You could fill this room with all their money.
Yeah, like
pour out.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like they could shut down all their entire business, shut down everything, take the profits. Nobody, the earth will be gone by the time that their money would be ran out.
Yeah.
But like they just keep going.
Yeah.
Like Elon could just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. I've got a car business.
Cars are driving.
He's like, nah, dude, I'm going to start shooting rockets. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm going to start building tunnels in California. Like, he just keeps on going. Same with Jeff Bezos. Like, you know, he could have just started with the general Amazon idea. He made some good money, and he just continued to build. And it's like it's almost like I feel like an addiction. Like they're like, oh, dude, how far can I take this?
So my vision isn't as big as Elon Musk, like saving the human race and getting us all to Mars. But I really would like
that dude's a whole.
I really would like to make Melbourne, starting with Melbourne, a healthier place. I would like to get them quality health advice, you know, pushing them in the right direction, whether it be diet and fitness or supplements or training, getting them into a supplement store or a gym or just in the right mindset. If they just follow our page and they say,
dude, 90% of this is mindset.
Yeah, these guys are motivated. You know, I don't really take supplements. I don't really go to the gym, but I am going to start eating healthier and I'm going to start working out. That's a win. That's like what we're trying to push through. And if we can grow that past Melbourne, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's take over Florida. And if we can take over Florida, then we can start chipping away at the rest of America. But I think like right now, my mindset is like, how can we completely touch every family in Melbourne?
I think that's why, actually not why I think, but why I know like your company is going to be very, very successful because it has a different approach than, you know, these GNC or Vitamin Shop. You know, they've been around for what? I mean, like 80 years.
100 years.
Yeah.
GNC,
like literally GNC is like 100 years.
I don't know Vitamin Shop though.
I don't know, but I know GNC, it was like in the 20s or something like that. But I think they never really like branched out further than supplements. Like, this is what we're going to do. And you like when you walk into GNC, you feel like you're walking into a car dealership. That's what I feel like when I used to go in there before I met you.
Yeah.
I used to go in there and they're like, oh, well, you want to sign up for our 1 year, whatever you get, and you get like a box sent to you, and it's
Yeah.
full of crap that you don't want.
Samples.
Like you're like, I paid $100 to get some shit that I don't want. Like, why,
You paid $100. You did it?
Yeah, because it was.
Dude, it must have been a pitch, though.
No, yeah, because like they were just like, well, you might as well because blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's the same. Like I just felt like when I left, I was like, wait a minute, why did I just do that? And it's the same concept as like trying to sell a car. Like even the people selling you the car know that, yeah, when you drive off this lot, like it's going to depreciate by like 50%.
Yeah, buy used
and
cars.
Anything that happens once you leave, like it's not on us. They're going to make it sound like it is the best deal that you can find, and you can go find that deal 10 times over down the road. And so like when I walk into your store, I feel like it's more of like we genuinely want to help you grow. We want to like teach you about what you're buying. You go into GNC and you ask those people what they're buying, or like, hey, can you tell me about this supplement?
Yeah.
They're not going to have a clue as to what the hell you're talking about.
There might be a few out there.
There may be a few, but
So
it's
what
also
we do
like an
is-
AutoZone shop. You ever been to an AutoZone?
Hey, I like AutoZone.
Okay, yeah, but if you go there, I had to change out my own light bulb one time because the guy had no idea. Like he was like, I don't know. And so it's kind
He
of
took
like
it out there for you, though, didn't he?
Huh?
He brought the light bulb out and the whole kit?
No,
No?
he literally didn't even know where to like look to put the bulb in.
Oh, man.
But anyways,
I've had
I
good
digress.
success with AutoZone parking lot fixes.
I've had zero success,
Oh,
but
man.
I digress. But yeah, so you're
So we put the
company.
customer goals first. When
Yeah.
they come in, we're like, what's going on? How's your day going? What are we working on? Typically, we take them to the in-body scan. The in-body scan is free to use.
I think that's a huge piece.
Yeah, and we look at actually what's going on with their body rather than being like, Alan, you definitely need a test booster today. You do. And you need a fat burner. You need a fat burner too. Let's get you on a fat burner. Without asking like, what does Alan do? Does Alan run? Does he lift? Is he just a general health guy? Like, what are you, not what you think you're looking for, but what are you actually looking for to your goals? Because a lot of people often they come in the store and they're like, hey, I need this product because this person said so. And it's like, okay, cool. We can get you that product. But let's first hop on the scan, see where you're at, see what you could do better, see what your actual goals are, not this magic pill that your favorite influencer is selling on Instagram right now, which will change in literally a month when someone offers them a better deal.
Right. And has that been like, probably one of the more frustrating parts? Maybe not frustrating, but maybe more of an insight and a surprise that people want just the quick fix. It's not like people don't really want to take the time to do an in-body scan to actually figure out and break down what's going on or why they're not seeing the results that they want. They just want like that quick.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone does. I mean, it's with anything, like all the quick schemes on the internet.
But has it surprised you, like, how many people really think that is a true
I think
reality?
we do a good job of guiding the customers away from that, and we show them good quality nutrition. We show them, making sure they get their protein in. Getting your protein in alone will change your physique and change your body. If you just hit your protein goal every day, which people don't do. So it's a crazy thing. So we take these people that come in the store and they're like, hey, I want a fat burner. Once again, full cycle. Let's get on the in-body. Let's see what you actually need. If you still want a fat burner, absolutely, we can stack it in there. It'll make you feel good. It'll give you energy. It's going to burn some fat, but it's not going to take 50 pounds off John, It's just not going to.
Yeah.
So the biggest surprise to me in the stores has always been how much people follow the influencers and what they say. I mean, the title alone should give it away to people. They're influencers, Now, I have influencers I like to follow. I mean, Joey Muccio, he's a local guy. I love following him, and I do. I look at some of his stuff he promotes, but am I running around like some people think that these influencers, they're influencers. I mean, I don't need to explain it any further. They're getting paid to market a product. I do. I look at some products. If they're cool, I might grab one. I actually bought a jump rope that Joey was marketing for a while because it made sense for me. It was a heavyweight jump rope. But especially in the supplement industry, it gets so bad because these guys are jumping brands quickly. I mean, new brand constantly. And, oh, this is the best flavored protein. This is the best pre-workout. And a lot of these supplements end up being generally the same. You're just picking them off of the influencers saying that, you know?
I think that was something that you actually taught me was when it comes to like the supplements, they're typically not far off in ingredients.
Yeah.
Like one might have a little bit more like a pre-workout might have a little bit more like beta alanine or caffeine in it, but essentially like it's going to do the exact same thing as this other one.
So you got to pick a brand that has good integrity, good quality, good transparency. Yeah, integrity. Good transparency. They disclose where they make it, GMP, FDA certified. And then does the product make sense to you?
FDA certified. Hang on. I didn't think that the FDA looked at.
FDA, I believe, don't quote me on this, they check the facilities they're made in.
Okay.
Now, if something goes on like DMAA, the FDA will step in and say, hey, no, we already said that's illegal. You know that, slap on the wrist, fine, yada, yada.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But all right, what do you got for me?
So you're here. You're coming up on year 4. Is that correct?
We're gonna have our
Man,
4-year
congratulations.
anniversary.
Two supplement stores, a fitness studio. Wow. So like from here, you know, where like what motivation do you have to keep on building? Like from here?
So we at least got to build a little bit more for the team. I mean, for the team alone, we have to build so everyone has their piece of the pie.
So that's what's keeping you pushing.
No, not exactly.
All right.
But that is a major component of mine. I want to do good by my friends. I want to do good by my team. I want to make sure they're taken care of. So we got more work to do just to get there, I think.
Gotcha.
And I mean like well taken care of. Now, what really is driving me though is I want to be this total fitness influence over Melbourne. I want to be the fitness resource, not only through, you know, supplements and nutrition, but personal training. I'm not a huge fan of like the big gym concept because there's so many. I think certain gyms are going to crush it, like Wolf Fitness. I think that's a super unique style.
Yeah, I'm excited to go check that out.
Personally, I don't think I'd want to take on that much debt. And personally, I'm more of like a cross trainer. Like I like to run. I like to do like agility stuff and lift. I'm really interested in the fitness studio space. So taking the studio and growing it to like a 5,000 square foot space. More than enough for multiple personal trainers, more than enough for multiple functions to be going on, but not to where you're going to be taking on $500,000 in debt.
Right. So you would have a studio and it would just be personal trainers only.
Yes.
Okay. So you could have like 2 or 3 or 5 people.
Maybe a slight amount of membership sales, but like super premium, super private.
Like 50.
Like 50 members that were like already Fitness Society customers that are like, hey man, I don't want to go to a corporate gym anymore.
People you can trust that's gonna like pick up after themselves and keep things.
Yeah.
All right.
But like I want to get in like the generational, like I want our kids to shop at Fitness Society. Like we already have like a bunch of like middle-aged customers with babies and stuff. And I'm like, man, in another 10, 12 years, they're going to be coming in for their first tub of protein.
Your kids are going to be coming in here getting their gains, dude.
Yeah. And it's going to be like, I mean, it's such a cool thing to think about. Like,
that is cool.
Yeah.
So that's where your head's at. Is like you're seeing these kids come in and you're like,
yeah,
you're going to be bodybuilding with my supplements from my store here.
Think of a supplement store making such a big impact that you're now a household name and there's tons of fitness going on, whether it be run club, whether it be fitness events, whether it be, you know, just working out in the gym, but all around like, oh, I'm part of Fitness Society, you know, like I shop there, I work out there.
I think the name in itself, like, I think I told my mom this like 2 years ago. I was like, dude, the name Fitness Society, first of all, it's crazy no one's ever even taken that name, like that you were even, that was available. But the name itself is so perfect for what you're trying to do. Like you're trying to create a society, like a whole community surrounding fitness.
You want to know where the name came from?
Yeah, actually.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Steve Cook, which I was a huge fan of.
Okay.
I don't really watch his stuff anymore, but I used to watch a lot of Steve Cook.
Is it fitness culture?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fitness culture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fitness culture, that is a sick name. How close can I get to this without being a ripoff? And I feel like Fitness Society is like, it flows so good, people don't even connect it.
I never connected that until you just said that, but I know he had the fitness culture.
Yeah.
So,
and I was a huge Steve Cook fan. I love that guy.
No, dude, Steve Cook, dude, he was peak.
Dude, it's sad that kids now, like the teenagers coming in now,
I have no idea who that is.
Have no idea. And I'm like, how he's still...
He was like the original like Gymshark influencer, like one of them.
And the original like influencer.
Yeah.
There weren't like, if like we're talking like influencers in a pyramid or a level of like...
hierarchy.
Yeah. Him, Christian Guzman were like the original two fitness influencers.
That's wild.
And now these kids are like following these random like guys that blew up on TikTok.
Man.
Crazy.
It is crazy. Like everybody and their mother is an influencer now.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully I'm the next one.
I know you're going to be the next one.
Heck yeah.
So I guess to wrap this up, man, like, you know, in the next several years, what is your goal to really impact? Like, what are your next steps to really get this entire community of Melbourne just encircled in Fitness Society? Like,
just hug the whole community.
Hug the whole community.
Hug
One
whole
big
community.
giant hug,
Yeah.
dude.
No, win customer by customer, you know, change one life at a time, help each person reach their goals, and that's going to help them tell a friend. But also just one big thing I want to get into 2025 is like community events. I'm going to host beach cleanups. We're going to host parties. We're going to host anniversaries, and also spotlighting other local businesses. Something we've always been big about since day one is just reaching out to other local businesses. Hey, what can we do for you? How can we help you? Let's make some content together. Let's spotlight each other, and just more of that, and just bring more people into the Fitness Society community where everyone's wearing a Fitness Society shirt. Everyone's got a hat on, you know, just
decked out in
Melbourne
Fitness
decked
Society.
out. Yeah.
Nice, dude. So, you know, are there any things that you would change? Like, you know, are there like two things starting out that you would make different to make it more streamlined?
Number one, I would have opened a little heavier. And what I mean by that is we were nervous to open, you know? So we didn't want to order too much. If you look at our beginning pictures, it looked like we were going out of business. So you got to think of that from like a customer's point of view. Whether they loved us or not, they walk in and they're like, "Oh, this place looks like it's going out of business." Like,
you got like couple options.
We had every bottle like 3 inches apart, 4 inches apart, all the way across the shelves to make it look full, but it just didn't look full.
Good business tactic.
The proteins on the pyramids were like protein tub, foot, protein tub. Like they were split up by like a whole length of a protein tub. And I look back at pictures and like, yeah, cute little store, but like we could have put a little bit more time. But it happens. I mean, you're eager to open. You want to get it open. You want to get rolling with what you got too. I mean,
I think it's better to play it like kind of safe than just being like, I'm gonna buy $100,000 worth of supplements, and what if you just
which now I have on a monthly basis.
But what if like starting off it just didn't go anywhere?
Oh yeah.
Well, now you're $100,000
in supplements,
and like, well, I got a lifetime supply of supplements
you're at the
now.
bank. They're like, you need to pay us. Would you like any pre-workout?
Be like, can I pay you in protein and pre?
Like the old days, scoop it out, pour it on the table. Go ahead, weigh that.
Go ahead and weigh that like on a
25
scale, dude.
Yeah. Does this work for my loan? No, but it worked out well. And then the only thing that I would do differently is year 2 was kind of like that refreshing year where, oh shit, it worked out. It worked out. We're making money. Awesome. And we kind of took our foot off the gas. We really did.
You got complacent.
Yeah. That's when we had Bryce and Emily, I think, were like our 2 people.
Okay.
And like between the 2, they kind of like pushed Kaylee and I out of a lot of our shifts, which at the time we had no system for being out of the store. Where now we're like, okay, if we're out of the store, we're working on marketing, working on the website, working on
you can be productive towards
Yeah.
something else. Gotcha.
We were
okay.
like,
so you're just sitting at home like,
we were like,
all right, what do we do?
We don't got to work. Let's go to the beach.
Yeah, you're just chilling.
I think like year 2 summer, we were like at the beach way too much. And I look back to it now and I'm like, shit, what valuable time out the window, you know? Like we're growing and people like to see the owners in the store, and it's different, you know. And our team is awesome. I mean, they crush it. They kick ass. They're killers in store, but it's still people like to see Kaylee and I. And I think that like 1 year up, and then we like let off the brake, we might have disappointed, you know, some customers. And there's also that I heard Matthew McConaughey say it in his last podcast. I think you sent it to me actually.
Yeah, the Chris with
the lonely phase.
The lonely phase. Yeah.
Which sometimes I feel like I'm in that lonely phase all the time.
100%, man.
But where the customers kind of say, "Oh, like, you know, you did all this and now you're not here," or whatever. I think that's what happened, and we didn't like spearhead that, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. But I think, you know, for the customer, they're not running a business. You know, you and Kaylee were grinding, you know, at the nuclear power plants.
Yeah.
Then you started the store and everything.
And we rolled right in.
Yeah, it probably was more beneficial for you to take that year off, do a whole reset, and then come back even stronger. Otherwise, you very well may have
take a whole year off.
I mean, but
we took a lot of time off in a year.
But like, you know, but you kind of like took it back a little bit. You appreciated
it
having
was
the time.
very healthy.
Yeah, otherwise you may, for all you know, like be burned out
Burned out.
Yeah, you're just like, dude, I and then this is not the time to be burned out. Like this is the time to like
rolling into 2025.
hit the pedal.
It is
pedal to the metal, dude,
head
and just
down
go.
and grind.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
2025 is going to be a big year.
2025
I think for everyone, but it's going to be a huge year for Fitness Society.
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, I mean,
You content? You got any other questions?
I think I'm good. What about you?
I think I'm good.
All right, I think that's a wrap then, man.
Right,
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, if you could like, subscribe, share the video, we really appreciate it. It really does help us grow. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right.